When your professor assigns you a paper, sometimes you don't know where to begin. So here are a few tips to help you plan, draft, and revise your writing. Remember, writing is like a selfie in words. Planning involves purpose and audience. Drafting is all about sentences and word choice. Revising asks you to add some more, take some away, or even rearrange stuff so that it all fits nicely. Editing your paper for spelling and grammar errors is a given, just like taking one last glance at the mirror before leaving your home. In the planning phase, ask yourself about the purpose and the audience for your writing. Are you being asked to write a story about yourself? That would be first person. Do you have to write directions on how to do something? Is this a research paper where you are just writing the facts? Better use third person. When you start thinking about your paper, you should think about who will read it. I usually ask myself whether the reader knows anything about the topic. If you are writing to your professor, you may use bigger words and a more academic approach. If you are writing to your Aunt Sally to tell her about what you learned in your business class this week, a more informal approach will do. Remember, use only words you understand and can explain. Tone is next. Generally in college, your tone will be serious and professional. Save the shortened version of words for text messaging. Let's check out an example or two. The first one is not so good. There are too many shortened words and symbols. It doesn't really get the point across. The second example is much better. It's clear and to the point. Drafting comes next. This is where you write it all down in an organized way. You will choose the right sentences and words to make your point. As you think about what you're writing, think about how many separate thoughts you have. They can't all fit in one paragraph, so separate them into separate paragraphs. Remember, it takes 5 to 7 sentences to make a paragraph, and a sentence shouldn't be much longer than 9 to 14 words. Choose words you know and understand. Make sure you are using words correctly, too. If you know your audience, you will know the right words to use. Let's look at a few examples. In the first example, there are so many errors, it is distracting to the reader. What's wrong, you ask? Spelling errors and a million thoughts make the paragraph so confusing. Let's see what we can do about this. I took the separate thoughts and moved them out of the paragraph. I focused on only one thought, then elaborated on it. This makes much more sense now. What about that 68-word sentence? Oh, I almost forgot. Let's check it out. Here it is, all cleaned up with punctuation and separation. Nice, huh? If you followed me throughout this video, revising should be a cinch. Read your work aloud. Listen for natural pauses. Look for spelling and grammar errors, run-on sentences, and organization of thought. Spell check, but don't rely only on that. Sometimes words can have multiple meanings. Run through these questions. One final look-see, and you should be done.